Another lovely morning right here in the VOS studios in the ancient city of Benin. This is Dawn on VOS TV. My name is Dan Nessie Isimeka, and we're here again to look at some of the headlines making our national dailies. We always have three of them with us in the studio, and of course today we have with us Sri Ayodele from the Nigerian Tribune. Good morning and welcome, Mr. Sri.
Good morning, Dan.
It's good to have you here again.
Same.
As always, we'll start with the Nigerian Tribune this morning.
Okay.
The Screamers, well, most of the papers still have security matters here, but coming major headlines from the Tribune this morning: kidnappers kill policeman, abduct 4 in Abuja, and 3 women in Ibadan. Right to that quickly, Amotekun arrests 3 suspected kidnappers in Ekiti Forest, and details of these can be found on page 29 of the Nigerian Tribune. Insecurity matters, and the police inspector that was gunned down in Abuja happened around the Gwagwalada area.
Of the
Federal Capital Territory, yes.
Well, I think insecurity is an issue that Nigerians have come to live with because it appears it's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. Every day you open the newspapers, everything, the first thing you see is about insecurity, kidnapping, killing, and the rest. But it's becoming more worrisome. Like in Benue, yesterday we were talking about 12 soldiers.
Yeah.
Today we are talking about policemen. These are trained officers, and they are being attacked like this. So I don't know. I don't know what the security agents are doing. Is it that we don't have a solution to this problem? It appears because that's the situation we find ourselves. It's as if nobody has any solution to what is happening, what is going on. Every day you must read about kidnapping, and this time around it's not even on the highways again now.
Yes.
In
the cities.
You go to Ibadan, as big as Ibadan is, inside the city you kidnap 3 women. Abuja, Gwagwalada area, like you said, you kill somebody, you kidnap, and the rest. So it's no longer, we are not safe on the road, we are not safe in the cities, we are not safe in the town, and we are not safe in our homes. So this, I don't know, it's like we've lost it in terms of security
in the country.
I mean, we've lost it.
But does it seem like the security outfits that most regions are putting out now trying to help situation?
For instance, the rider you read to the lead story says Amotekun arrested 3 suspected kidnappers in the forest. Yeah, they will work if you have a better. How many of such regional security outfits do we have? It's only the Amotekun that is a little bit functioning. The other one, Agu, was established about 2-3 days ago, and even at that, it's already having its own problem. Some groups in the southeast are saying it's a waste of money.
We'll definitely get to that.
So it's a terrible.
Yes.
It's going to. I think maybe when they all take off in all the regions and everything, maybe it will begin to have their effect. Like we said yesterday, in the southwest, it's not that these things are not happening there, but at least you are having responses to all the issues. Like it happened in Ekiti now. Amotekun went into the forest and they were able to arrest at least 3 suspects. So if they begin to comb all the forests and the rest, we discover that a time will come that we have few cases of all this insecurity reported. But my major concern is how these bandits, how these felons are attacking security agents. Because if the security agents themselves don't feel safe, then no man,
the civilians,
no man is safe again. The man who carries gun, who is trained in the acts of marksmanship, like we said yesterday, is being kidnapped or is being killed. Then what's the fate of the civilian that you rightly said? So I think the government needs to sit down at this. It's becoming nauseating. It's becoming embarrassing.
And the new acting IG now has not really spoken on these major issues. When we even look at the streets in Benin City, we hardly see police operatives except at some places just doing some checkpoints.
Even the checkpoints they are doing, what are they doing? He said, what are they looking for? When you go to Akenzua Street and you man police checkpoint there, what are you doing there? I expect that security checkpoints should be at the outskirts. Like if you, for instance, instead of staying in Akenzua Street, why don't you go down to Ogbazu or Ogba River, where people can easily be kidnapped and then taken through that route to Ogba River and then put inside a speedboat and they are off. Why don't you go to Upper Sakomba, where you get the outlet to Delta or to any other place?
Yes.
Why don't you go to Enya on the way to Ekoma? Why don't you go after Agbo Park and set up a mount surveillance or whatever checkpoints there? Why don't you go towards Oluku side or War, Lagos? What are you doing inside the town? You leave the
the Siloko axis as well.
Siloko axis, all those aspects where you get away points. These are places you will expect to see security men, policemen, and everything. But you see them on Akenzo Street. You see them on
Five Junction.
And what are you doing this? And you know what? They are very selective. They look at the nature of the car you are driving.
Yes.
If it's a very clean car, that's when they stop you. So for instance, if I'm driving a rickety car and I have a human head inside the, they are not bothered about that. They are looking at, okay, this guy who could be a 419 guy, a Yahoo guy, and the rest. So it's not, for me, that's not effective. I don't know. It's as if the intelligence aspect of the security, our security outfit is gone. We are not even processing anything. I'm telling you.
Well, still on issue of kidnapping now, at the bottom of the Tribune, 7 years after Chibok abduction, over 640 students kidnapped between December 2020 and March 2021, says Amnesty International.
I think this is about what is happening in the northeast and northwest, the abduction of students in the hostels. Now look at the figure. Between December and March, 640. That's an average of 160 students kidnapped every month. And this is a region that is lagging behind in terms of educational advancement and the rest.
And 600 schools short over abduction.
Nobody is going to school there because one, as parents, you don't want to put your children in that kind of a condition. And you send them to school, nobody guarantees and everything. Now, when you have this kind of figures, you expect that people in that region, both political leadership, the civilians, even all stakeholders, should be able to come together and say, look, this is a big problem for us. We are trying, we are striving, we are trying to encourage our brothers and sisters up north to send their children to school, to end these manners of almanjeries and the rest.
Yes.
And then the few ones that are in school, they are not safe. That's number one. Two, how do you even get to move these students in one single swap? Chibok happened 2014. Over 100 of those students are still in captivity. And the country has moved on. The nation has moved on. We've forgotten about those children because that's what it appears to be. Now, how do you now encourage other parents to take their children to school? Don't forget that these students up north there, in the northeast or northwest, they are running a competitive examination with other parts of the states, other parts of the country. And then Nigeria as a whole is also running the same examination with other parts of West African sub-region countries. So, and this thing is happening. When you shut down about how many schools?
600.
About 600 schools. Well, what happens to the students then? Those who want to write WAEC or NECO or JAMB and the rest. And for how long are you going to close down those schools? Because you can no longer guarantee, because by shutting down those schools, what you are saying in essence is that I cannot guarantee the safety of these children. It's very sad, it's very embarrassing, and it calls for concern. And I think, it's beyond the politics of who rules Nigeria or who doesn't rule come 2023, we should pay attention to it, because this is the future of the country. What you are doing in essence is that you are widening the gap between the south and the north when it comes to issue of education. You close down these schools, 600 schools. For how long? Next 6 months? Then when you close them down for what purpose? Because you want to beef up the security level. How long will is it going to take you to do that? And within a space of 4 months, you've lost 640 students to bandits. And then they will just come in, walk in. And you know, the last time they kidnapped about 380 students.
That's earlier in the year. How do you move
380 people out of in an environment and nobody saw them when they were doing that. Nobody raised alarm. Nobody did
even
anything.
tracked their movement.
I mean, what's the distance between from that school to the next town? Or it doesn't make any sense. So for me, the picture I'm getting is that is this a deliberate action? Does it have political undertone? Is it to blackmail the government of the day? Or the government is deliberately doing it to create a kind of an environment that will be difficult for us to talk about election in 2023? Because if insecurity will make you to close down about 600 schools in the north, this same insecurity can make you also to say we can't hold election in this kind of circumstance. So what happens? I'm just thinking.
Yes.
It's just so you need to look at it. If it is political, too bad. And if it is the reality that we are facing, worse off.
All right, let's quickly move from the Nigerian Tribune now to the Vanguard. The screamer you have on the Vanguard newspaper this morning: Southeast governors and IPOB on coalition course over Ebube Agu. That's the new security architecture or the outfit set up in the eastern part of Nigeria. And IPOB, right after that, IPOB rejects new security network, says anyone joining Ebube Agu to spy on ESN should prepare to meet his ancestors. And Ikpeazu comes out to say that Ebube Agu will be backed by law, and the ESN is a social media outfit. Only Southeast governors can set up security groups. That's Wazirike saying that as well to the story. Now, the IPOB is coming out to say the ESN, which is the Eastern Security Network, is what is recognized, or what they recognize rather, and the Ebube Agu is a waste of resources and time.
Dan, there's a proverb in my place. When you want to raise an alarm, and you raise it in a very melodious way, people will come out to help you dance into it. Let me just say it to you, the way we say it. Yeah. When you say Ibosi, 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 it's melodious. People will dance. But when you say Ibosi, 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 nobody wants to dance to that kind of a thing. And that is exactly what is happening in the Southeast. We said it here yesterday. This is a region that should sit down and tell us what they want. We can't be having all these conflicting ideas coming from the same region. Today is ESN. Today is Ebube Agu and everything. But like Ikpeazu, Governor Ikpeazu said, yes, and Wazirike said, there's a distinction between ESN and Ebube Agu. And truly, I believe it and I support that idea. That is only the governors of the Southeast have the capacity, have the authority to sit down and set up a security network and back it up by law. And for me, if you ask me to choose between Eastern Security Network, ESN, and Ebube Agu, I'll go for Ebube Agu. Because Ebube Agu is a product of the collective will and wish of the governors of the Southeast. Unlike this one that IPOB, and IPOB, whether we like it or not, no matter maybe their good intentions and everything, it's an outlawed
organization in the country.
They are not recognized. They are proscribed. It's already proscribed and everything. And that's why I first brought in that idea of how you raise your alarm will determine how people will respond to it. IPOB may have a very clear-cut, nice idea. But the way you are going about it also determines the kind of support you are going to get. Now, if you are saying anybody that joins Ebube Agu is a dead person, so what are you saying? You want to kill your brothers and sisters? And then how do you now expect the Yoruba man to come and support this kind of a cause? How do you expect the Hausa Fulani man to come and support? How do you expect an Idoma man to come and support? How do you expect an Idoma to come and support this kind of a thing? So the Southeast, on its own, has a big problem that it needs to settle in-house. The nature, the acephalous nature of their society is what is causing this problem, because there's no clear-cut leader that you can run up to. Everybody is independent. The Southeast is too Republican. Everybody is a big man in his compound. Yes. And that is why they don't have a clear-cut leader that you can just pick at any point in time and say, speak on behalf of this group. That's why IPOB, or whatever you call it, before you know it, another Masom will come up and say its own and everything. You have elected leaders. These are the governors of the state. They are the chief security officers of their state, so to say. They are the ones that at any point in time, look at what is happening in Ebonyi. It's the governor of the state that everybody is mentioning. So if it's coming together with other governors to say, okay, we want to establish this security office in Bubiagu in every right-thinking individual in the Southeast who wants the good of Southeast should support this venture, Bubiagu, so that at the end of the day, you'll be able for the first time to be able to speak with one voice. And I think this is where the Ohanese's Indigo group should come in. That body is strong enough. That body is doing almost the same thing that Afenifere is doing in Yoruba, that ACF is also doing in the north. The group should be able to come out this time around and take a stand and identify, okay, if it is IPOB you want to support, or ESN rather, let us know. If it is Bubiagu you want to do, because at least, whether we like it or not, what do they call it? The Ohanese Indigo is a recognized body. And headed by respected individual people that have paid their dues in this nation. So I think that body should come out and take a stand. This is not the time to sit on the fence. They should make it abundantly clear to these young guys in IPOB and come to take of it. The leader of the IPOB that he's talking about is not even in this country. He's not feeling the heat that an average person here is feeling. It's abroad. We are not in Nigeria. I'm not even bothered about what he bet. At least wherever he is, he's not feeling the heat. They're not killing him. It's not the one they are tear gassing every day. It's not the one that they are chasing with guns and the rest.
I was about saying, well, I don't think I should say it, but let's just say members of the eastern part of the country always have a way of having their leaders outside the country. You can look at it from the time of Ojukwu. No,
I think, no. It's even an insult to the memory of Ojukwu to compare him to this this guy, Kanu. No. They are two ways apart. Ojukwu's case that led to, whatever led to the civil war, Ojukwu had a clear-cut idea of what the Southeastern wanted at that period. And whether you like it or not, Dan, all those things that Ojukwu and those who supported Biafra at that time listed as our problems are still here with us. Don't forget that war ended 1967. That's 54 years ago. All those issues that led to the Nigerian Civil War of 1967 to 1973, rather. That's about 51 years. That's 67 to 73. They are still there with us. And this guy, that's why when you look at Ojukwu's agitation, and these Kanus, they are poles apart. I mean, it will be an insult to Ojukwu to be comparing the two of them. There's no basis for that.
All right, let's move further down south now as we go to the top of the Vanguard. 15 headless bodies dumped on the outskirts of Calabar. That's the Cross River State capital. And some reports says that it's possible that they were actually beheaded in Calabar and taken to the outskirts. But we can't really find details of what this could be linked to. Could it be linked to ritual killings or whatever? No details yet. But 15 headless body dumped at the outskirts of Calabar.
Dan, all these things you are talking about, kidnapping, killing, and this headless body, the only thing I'm getting out of this is that we are losing our humanity. We are not talking about one person. No. 15. I read the report. The male and female of ages, different ages. Now the idea is, who took them there? From where to where? How did they get to that place? To convey 15 LS body, you are not going to use a Toyota Corolla to do that.
Probably a truck.
A truck. And then to get 15 bodies out of the truck to the road and everything, it's not something you do under 2-3 minutes. So the period they were doing it, no vehicle passed, no that. I mean, and then the way we even talk about dead bodies, we talk about killings and everything, it's as if we've lost our humanity. That is just it. I'm telling you, because it's how? You know the agonies the families of these 15 people must have gone through. These people must have been declared wanted
or missing.
All of a sudden now you now go there, become into identify.
Another thing, identification now becomes
an issue. Then we now have to do DNA. So you have to make an announcement. And who even told you that all these 15 people are from Cross River? Somebody could have been kidnapped in Benin here, taken to Calabar to be beheaded, and then it's among them. So you now begin to make an announcement that, okay, if in the last 1 year or 2 years you've lost somebody, can you please come to Calabar and come and do DNA test? It's sad. I'm telling you. It's not something that we should be waking up to every morning to read. 15 human beings beheaded, and then their torsos dumped somewhere. And then people were there, because I read the report in Vanguard Online or one other newspaper talking about people milling around the place, flies all over the place. I mean, what has happened to our humanity? Are we animals in this country? That life doesn't even mean anything to anyone, to us again. So when you just see, oh, people in queue, then we are moving on to another thing again. I can tell you by tomorrow nobody is talking about this, and it's another ugly incident like this that we'll be talking about. I mean, it's a shame on us, all government and other individuals.
Looking at what's going on now with the, let's say, the kind of success we are recording with the security architecture in the Southwest, and now the Southeasterners, the governors in the Southeast are coming up with a rebel. Don't you think it's time for the South-South governors? Because I think there was a rumor about it circulating the media space at some point last year. There were South-South governors who were trying to meet to create their own security.
I don't know why the South-South is still having problem of setting up South-South security outfit. What will have been the problem for them has been eliminated. The entire 6 states in the South-South are in the same political party. Unlike in the Southwest, you still have
APGA somewhere.
In the Southwest you have a PDP.
Oh, sorry, I'm talking
Southeast.
Southeast. Yeah.
Then in the Southeast you have APGA somewhere in Anambra State. Yeah. You have APC in Imo. Then the remaining 3 states, Imo and the Ebonyi that has moved to APC. Then the other 2 states are PDP states. So you wouldn't expect that everybody, in the Southeast will be able to come together because of political differences to say that they agreed. So what is now the problem of the South-South region? The only state that will have been under APC will have been Edo State, but now it is a PDP controlled state. Also all the states in the South-South are under PDP. That's number one. PDP is in opposition to the government at the central. So it's even easier for you to come together because you know that, okay, whatever security crisis you are having in the region is as a result of the failure of the central policing system to do what is expected or to do the needful. So why is it difficult for them to come together? Or probably they are not seeing it the way. Politicians have their own eyes. They have their way of viewing things. Maybe they are not seeing what you and I have seen. In the entire, let's take Edo State for instance. To travel from here, Benin City, to say to Auchi, your area, you know what it takes.
Auchi is even too far, so to Ekpoma.
To Ekpoma.
Or
Irua. They kidnap on a daily basis on that route. I've not been able to go to Ondo State because what do you call it? Onwa Bridge, to Ifon, to Sobe, to everything. They're kidnapping. There are about 7 spots. The last time I traveled, the driver was showing me, this spot they used to kidnap, this spot they kidnapped. After that journey and I returned, I knew that no, not me. So, and then the governor said, they're not doing anything. So I don't understand. Maybe they feel that, and there's no peace in the South-South. We live here now. There's no peace anywhere. Just yesterday in Uromi, women in their hundreds trooped out to complain about the activities of herdsmen.
Yes.
In the place. They went to the traditional women, everybody, all the newspapers, online and the rest, the media reported it adequately. Yes, just yesterday. So why is it difficult for these guys, for these governors in this region to come together and say, okay, let's have our own bet? Or probably they are working on it. They want to come out with something that will be better than Ebubeagwu and better than Amotekun. Which they were.
All right, let's move on now to what we have on the Nation newspaper. The major headline you will see here at the bottom. Okorocha in EFCC custody over alleged 7.9 billion naira fraud. And right after that in red, 1.5 billion naira hospital linked to ex-aide under probe. Now, this is coming after, well, we've seen, I would say, the clash between the former governor and the present governor linking to the property belonging to the former governor's wife. He was arrested initially, and now it was said the EFCC actually trailed him for a while before they were able to arrest him.
Pin him
Pin
down
him
yesterday.
down. Yeah.
But when I read the report, I said, Okorocha again. In the last 2-3 months, Okorocha has been in the news for the wrong reasons. But his arrest yesterday, to me, it's normal. It's long overdue. It's not only Okorocha. Okorocha is just one out of the thousands of his mates that are supposed to be facing one interrogation or the other. So we learned that in the report that, okay, they've invited him for several times. He didn't honor it, so they have to move yesterday to get him arrested. And then when you read the kind of figure they are reeling out, 7.5 billion. And this is just one.
That's just one.
That's just one. So how much does a man need to live a life? If you build a mansion of 10 rooms or 50 rooms, you can only occupy one. You can't even occupy the entire room. You only occupy where you are. If you are sitting down in your sitting room, you can't go beyond that area, that perimeter where you are sitting. You can't be, because you become man when you jump from one chair to the other in your own sitting room. So you now begin to ask yourself, in just one single allegation, you are talking about 7.9 billion. So by the time they bring out every other allegation against him, only God knows what the figure will come to. And then, on a lighter mood, all these comedians, I was watching one small guy on the internet the other day. He said, okay, maybe what you should do is that we just do mass burial for all our leaders. You watch that video, the guy then somebody that gave him pure water. And because, and it's not, like you said, it's not only Okorocha.
Not only Okorocha. We've had other governors.
Said his aide, that is one of the people he appointed. They are still talking about 1.5 billion naira hospital traced to him and everything. And look at the one you mentioned when issue of his wife's property and the rest.
Yes.
The question we need to ask ourselves is this: what was Mrs. Okorocha doing before the husband became a governor? That's a man who appointed his in-law as chief of staff, made his daughter a commissioner. Somebody was even became commissioner for enjoyment and the rest. So he brought the act of governance from grandiose to buffoonery, messed up the entire place and everything. And then they set up an EFCC, a body that is empowered by the law to investigate. You are invited, and then you refuse to go there. I mean, what kind of impunity is that? But in any case, I will tell Nigerians there's nothing to celebrate about Okorocha's arrest.
Just yet.
Oh, no, nothing to celebrate. The guy can tell you, this may even be the end of the case. He will get out of this now. What Ojin Sokadu was tried, jailed. Then the Supreme Court came and said the man who jailed him has no capacity. There is a judge who sat on the case from the beginning to the end. So at the point of delivering the judgment, he was elevated to higher court. And then the court said, okay, go back and finish the work you started. They said no. And then the man is free. Joshua Dariye was in the Senate. He was jailed until Randy was still collecting his salary until the Supreme Court affirmed the judgment like that. So it doesn't make any, even if he's tried in Edo State here. Lucky Igbeneghu was tried now for something like how much was it, 3.something billion naira. That was the case that went to court now. How much did they ask him to pay? They just shook his hand and everything, and the man is free. So it's all over the place. So that's why I said nobody should celebrate Okorocha. I mean, whoever is becoming gaining attraction in the media because of the person he is, I can tell you 2-3 days we'll be talking about something else, and then they will grant him administrative bail and nothing will happen. How many of such cases are in court? We said it here on this program that all you need to do is fast track the trial of these guys. Let it be that this Okorocha was arrested yesterday. Today is Wednesday. By Friday, it's already in court, and by May, we've already had the judgment that he's been set free or is on his way to Kuje prison, and then we'll be happy.
But when we look at the legal system, there are delay tactics in which legal practitioners employ, and also the issue of fair hearing, which the court always tries to give.
The delay tactics through your technical, technicalities and the rest. Now, how do we even get out of it? Wait, did you watch your Chief Justice of the Federation, his appearance in the Senate? Did you watch for his confirmation?
Yes.
When they asked him about how do you do this issue you just read of technicalities, and he was talking about the man that is driving the aeroplane. So if you have the head of the judiciary with that kind of understanding, then you can imagine what is happening. But we can get there. I'm telling you, if Nigeria really wants to get out of corruption, we need to strengthen the judiciary. We need to empower the judiciary. We need to fast track the processes so that, like Okorocha or any other person, within a space of 3 months, the cases are concluded and then the sentences passed. If you are set free, good for you, you come back home. And the other party is not satisfied, can appeal. But even from the appeal, from the court of first instance up to Supreme Court, it shouldn't be more than 3 months. Let's add the faith. If, for instance, within 3 months, you have about 16 governors in jail, these other ones that are there that want to steal, if they are going to steal, nobody will go for 7 billion. Maybe they will be stealing something that will not easily notice. We need to do that. Until we do that, until we get over all this. Then, for instance, what do you even do? The Nigerian Bar Association. What do you do to all these lawyers that are bringing in frivolous motions to court and everything? Can we begin to sanction them? Like, for instance, the way they did to Chief Afe Babalala and Olani Peku over the Bayelsa issue. I love it. That is exactly what we are expecting. That you bring frivolous motion to
so
just
they can be sanctioned.
You bring frivolous motion. The judges will say, okay, this is frivolous enough, and then we are going to fine you and you pay it personally. Those guys paid about 30 million naira. 30 million naira each. And they are senior advocates of Nigeria.
They are senior advocates, definitely. Yes. And to a large extent, it also boils down to the LPDC, which is the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee. And, well, I don't want to say the body has been a bit dormant for a very long time, because there are a lot of things that we see legal practitioners do.
Who constitute the membership of the
LPDC?
Yeah.
We have members of the body of benches.
Because lawyers, it's like the practice of it is more or less, I don't want to use it's more or less an occultic thing. Yes, now, you don't want to sanction anybody. The spirit they call and the rest is there and everything. Honestly, for instance, when Baba Chief Afe Babalala, it's almost 60 years at the bar.
Yeah.
And then the justices of the Supreme Court who have that courage to say, no, Baba, what you are bringing to us is frivolous. And they punished him. They punished Olani Peku. Olani Peku was became a senior advocate of Nigeria in 1978 or so. It's not a small, court to ban 1978 or so. So it's not a small lawyer. And then you get them punished. So can you begin to apply that kind of measure to other things so that everybody will sit back? No matter how much they pay you for the brief, if you know that after this frivolous motion is thrown out, they're asking you to go and bring 2 million or 1 million naira, you won't bring it now. And this is exactly what they do. You have a case going on in Federal High Court in Benin. Somebody will run to Federal High Court, a court of coordinate jurisdiction in Lagos to go and file the same motion and everything. And then you keep on delaying the processes. And so that's why this guy, when he left as governor of Imo State, if his trial had started immediately, he won't be in the Senate. He won't be in the Senate. But there as a senator, any salary, any allowances, and yes, you see, he has in one single allegation 7.9 billion of Imo State money kept somewhere for his personal use. Yet it's mere allegation, fine. Nobody is convicting him on this, but that it's even coming to the public knowledge is a shame. And then he will still be talking, still be grandstanding. Not only him, all over the place. Look around all your politicians now. How they started and where they are now.
Yeah, it's always an interesting conversation right here in the studio with Shuyi Ayodele from Nigerian Tribune. We've been looking at some headlines from 3 national dailies, The Nation, The Vanguard, of course, the Nigerian Tribune. If you're interested in any of the stories, go ahead. You can, I think most of these dailies now have online portals where you can go and read and also get the right amount of information you want. It's always an interesting conversation right here on Dawn on VOS TV, where we go through some of the headlines making our national dailies right here in Nigeria. Thank you very much once again for joining us, Mr. Shuyi.
Thank you very much. My pleasure.
I'll see you next time. My name is Dan Nessie. Isumeka. Good morning.